Tony Chiazza are the officials. Samet Yigatolu, Victor Locken get us started. Tigers with the ball and the small lineup, if you will, for Brownell. Chauncey Wiggins comes off the bench. Dylan Hunter, who was terrific for Clemson last Saturday in Tallahassee, on the floor. Here's older brother Chase into traffic. Tried to slip it through, and it got knocked away, taken on the turnover by B.J. Edwards. Here's Chuck Harris teeing up an early three. Cross inside the rebound. SMU will get a second chance. You see the lineup for Andy Enfield in his first season here in Dallas as the head coach of the Mustangs. Double on Yigatolu in the corner with 8 to shoot. Harris quickly for Cross. 3 ball away. Back rim miss. And Locken is the winner of the rebound. And the Tiger lineup, we told you, both Hunters on the floor with Zachary Locken and Ian Shefflin. Here's Shefflin out front. Yigatolu follows him from the man-to-man.
Well, both teams in man-to-man, and SMU, they're noted for their offense, but their defense can be pretty good, and that is a great sign for the Tigers because Jaden Zachary, he does a lot of things really well for Clemson, but shooting the three is not one of them. Great start for the Tigers.
28th three of the year for Zachary. Tigers average 9 threes a game. That's third best in the ACC. Edwards on the bounce for Yigatolu. Locken there, and Zachary digs down and knocks it away. Turnover on the Mustangs.
Clearly, that's part of the game plan. Double team him every time he catches the ball.
And thrown away by Shefflin, trying to cross for Dylan Hunter. Harris for Cross on the drive. Matt Cross, who turned 24 years of age yesterday, gets the Mustangs on the board.
As I said, their defense is better than it gets credit for. They're really good at stealing the ball. You cannot throw a lazy cross-court pass like that.
Hunter on the drive against Okendo. Back for Locken. 3 good. Victor Locken, who dialed it up from behind the line against Carolina last week. Dan has his 20th three.
And he shoots almost 50% in conference play from out there, Wes. If he's going to hit those, that's going to bring Yigatolu away from the basket and open things up in the middle for the Tigers.
Cross with Shefflin defending, a step back to 3. Bounces off. Yigatolu, the offensive rebound and the stick back.
And this is an outstanding offensive rebounding team.
Clemson by 2, a pair of threes, 1 to Zachary and 1 to Locken. Dylan Hunter against Okendo. Right back for Locken on the block. He'll spin. Basket side, up and under. Couldn't finish. Cross the rebound. Locken thought he got fouled. SMU on the attack.
It's really good help by Cross.
Cross calling for it against Chase Hunter, and Harris throws it away.
All right, Wes, can we decide right now that those cross-court passes are a bad idea?
Yep, with these two they are. Hunter attacks on the dribble. Yigatolu the contact. Chase Hunter couldn't get the roll. They got tapped around. Boy, pretty good tempo here early. Okendo on the drive, and the Mustangs in front.
Wes, it's great tempo, and one thing we've seen, Chase Hunter now has gotten into the lane twice, and he has not been able to finish because of the presence of Yigatolu.
Here's Hunter on the drive again. Skip out front. Zachary, another 3. Good. Jaden Zachary just hitting a third of his threes on the year. Knocks down 2 here early. Clemson back in front.
And Wes, in conference play, he's under 30%, so those are 2 big baskets for the Tigers.
9-6 Clemson. 3 threes for the Tigers. SMU's got 3 two-point goals and now another turnover. Here's Hunter leading the break on Harris. Spins, glides, can't finish. Shefflin banged it around. Zachary the recovery. He'll skip for Chase Hunter. Standing 3. That's good. 65th 3 of the year for Chase Hunter. His first basket in a ball game and a half from the floor.
The Tigers not noted, Wes, for their ability to play in transition, but they've started in transition pretty well so far this afternoon.
Doubled the number. Brad Brownell told us earlier we have to have a strong start. Dan, I think he's gotten it.
And so far,
4 minutes and change gone first half. 7 to shoot. Okendo loops it here for Cross. 4 on the shot clock. Cross from Plano. Back rim miss. And last touched by the Tigers. So early on, Chase Hunter, who's a candidate for first team All-ACC, takes the feed. And then he took the job, of course, last April 1st. He was named their head coach. He said, we know we've got an environment here, and so far that environment has held up. 5-3 at home in the ACC, and the losses are Wake Forest, Duke, and Louisville. The Clemson, number 18 in the country, as Harris rattles in a 3 out of the timeout.
And that's the first SMU 3. Clemson has only 4 field goals, but they're all 3s.
3-point lead for the Tigers. Dylan Hunter kicked back for Lockett. Victor on a high dribble. Out of the corner here is the freshman Jones knocking down the 3. Out of Landover, Maryland, Dell Jones had 13 minutes of action last Saturday at Tallahassee.
Wes, and he's one of the 6 guys on this Clemson team in conference play who shoot at least 38% from out there.
Baseline run, the bouncer falls off the iron for B.J. Edwards. Clemson by 6. And Jones replaced Chase Hunter a moment ago in the lineup. Probably hits the 3 to keep the momentum going from behind the line for the Tigers. Here's Shefflin with cross defending. Skip out for Dylan Hunter. He'll cut loose a 3. Front rim miss. Barely got to the iron. SMU trailing 6 in the ball.
But another wide open 3-point opportunity for the Tigers.
Oquendo. Baseline Edwards on a hard drive. Quick ball movement. Oquendo wastes no time. Rattled out the 3. Yugitolu, and Locken was there. Yugitolu was there, and it's going to be on Victor Locken. The senior transfer from Anapa in southwestern Russia, his first and the first on the Tigers, and Brad Brownell looks on in campaign number 15. Brad Brownell, Dan, has got 85 ACC wins since the 2017-18 season. That's 4th best among the conference.
He's a little frustrated with his guys right now because they're not doing a very good job on the defensive board. So far, SMU has dominated, and that has created some problems for the Tigers.
Harris trying to lean in, skips for cross. 8 to shoot for the Mustangs. Harris traveled with it. Picked up on the ball before he delivered the pass.
And Wes, this Clemson team, they're much better offensively, particularly over the last few games, but this remains an outstanding defensive team. So far, each team having a hard time penetrating the defense of the other one.
To your point, they're 2nd in the conference play in scoring defense. They're 6th in field goal percentage defense and 2nd in 3-point field goal percentage defense. There's Wiggins on the floor. Chauncey, the junior from Grayson, Georgia, at 6'11". 8 to shoot for Jones. On the drive, lost the handle on it, scooped up Shefflin with 4. Skips for Zachary, another 3. Yes!
Wow!
Jaden Zachary's got 9. That one beat the shot clock. And Clemson back in front now by 9, their largest lead of the first half.
That was a typical Ian Shefflin play, just going to dig out the ball.
Clemson is 6 of 7 from 3. All of their field goals are from behind the line. 3 of them for Jaden Zachary.
And Wiggins is trying to guard Yugitolu inside.
3 by Harris is the answer for SMU.
And Harris is their best 3-point shooter, but Yugitolu against Wiggins on the offensive end for SMU is a mismatch the Mustangs ought to be able to exploit.
44% 3-point shooters. Harris. Shefflin trying to keep the rob going, and he does. Ian Shefflin, another 3. My goodness. Clemson is living behind the line here in the first almost 8 minutes of play.
Well, one reason is they can't get it inside. But why do you need to?
Edwards on the drive, got blocked partially. Karem's out. Mustangs now with Cross, and that's an offensive foul on Cross. Matt Cross, the 24-year-old senior from Beverly, Massachusetts, checks in. He's the grad transfer from Illinois State, averaging 1.5 points and a rebound in conference play.
Wes, but I'll tell you something. Yugitolu is not used to chasing 3-point shooters out beyond the line.
Cement has taken a seat. Jarrell Colbert has checked in, wearing number 20 for the Mustangs. There's Foster scoring. His first points, Dan, since he had 3 last week at Florida State. He had 4 against Carolina.
Well, he is a guy who knows how to play, Wes. He can score inside. He's a good rebounder.
11-point lead for Clemson at 23-12. That was the Tigers' first 2-point goal. There's a drive and score for B.J. Edwards.
Edwards doing a nice job getting to the basket. As we've said, we've seen very little of that so far in this game. But Edwards using his quickness to get by Wiggins.
Chase Hunter working against A.J. George. Junior transfer from Long Beach State. Wiggins out of the corner. That's too strong. An air ball. Edwards the recovery on the backside.
And Wiggins is a very good three-point shooter, particularly in that catch-and-shoot situation.
Ball knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Dylan Hunter. That'll get us to a timeout. 9 minutes into this. Today, it was almost like if you thought you kind of had that good year, you might take your foot a little half step off the gas. There was no doing that in the Clemson locker room before the game.
Well, it's funny. They were talking about how they were upset that they had the week off when they were playing so well.
Yeah.
But they have come out here and they've shot the three very well early.
Run down by Harris, 5 to shoot. Oh, Chase Hunter back in the game with 3 guards. Zachary and Dylan Hunter. Look at this long three from Cross. My heavens.
Not much you can do about that. Brad Brownell just shakes his head over there. His team played marvelously on the defensive end.
Let's see if that gets the Mustangs going a little bit here. Trailing 6 after Matt Cross's 3 from practically Brad Brownell's lap. Here's Zachary. Back for Dylan Hunter. A 3 to answer. Too strong. And George the rebound for SMU.
And that's funny. Dylan Hunter has now missed 2 from out there, Wes, and he has shot the ball very well from three-point range over the last couple of games.
Crowd here at Moody Coliseum looking to really dive in on a Mustang run if they can get a bucket here. Halfway home and half won. Harris measures Chase Hunter, gets baseline, had it blocked from behind, and now recovered by Foster.
Hunter is a very, very good defender.
Yep. Foster thought about it.
He did think about it, didn't he?
Yeah, and then he remembered he was 4 for 6 this year behind the line. Zachary, another one. Jaden Zachary has got a dozen on 4 threes. Clemson now has thrown in 8 threes in 10 tries. They average 9 a game.
And Zachary, again, coming into the game, shoots less than 30% from three-point range in ACC play.
Cross failing it. He's got 8. Zachary has just tied his career high for threes in a game, by the way, with the 4th a moment ago. Here's Wiggins. Now to Dylan Hunter. Returns it to Wiggins. Around Colbert, lost it, had it punched away, turned over by the Tigers. Here's Harris leading the SMU break. Lob for Colbert. Inside and 1 on the Wiggins foul. Jarrell Colbert off the bench for Andy Enfield. Wiggins will commit the foul, his first and the second on the Tigers.
And this is an SMU team, Wes, and when you allow them to get out and go, they are really good. And this is a situation where Wiggins not only loses the ball, but he nonchalants it going back up the court, and Colbert just runs right in front of him. That is not going to make Brad Brownell very happy.
So Jarrell Colbert, who's averaging about 8 minutes a game off Andy Enfield's bench in conference play, to the line where he's a 69% free throw shooter. First free throws of the day for the Mustangs, and Colbert missed the chance at the three-point trip.
You know, in the last 3 games, Wiggins has played very well coming off the bench for the Tigers, but a very slow start for him today.
Here's Hunter using a lock and screen, tried to bounce it back to Victor, and they end up turning it over. And a foul going to be called, and that is the second on Lockett.
And that's one that Clemson can ill afford. And that was not a very good pass by Chase Hunter. He's trying to squeeze it in someplace where there's very little room, throwing it down at the ankles of Lockett. And we just talked about what a slow start Chauncey Wiggins has had coming off the bench. He's probably going to have to go the rest of the half, is Wiggins, because Lockett's in foul trouble.
Yep, and the Tigers come to the game today without the services of 7-foot Christian Reeves. Sophomore from Charlotte who transferred from Duke is missing today's game with an ankle. And there's a foul on Wiggins. That's going to be his second as Yugitolu went to work.
Wes, we were just talking about that a little bit before Yugitolu went out of the game earlier, that he is matched up against Wiggins, and Wiggins just can't handle him in there.
Yep. So now that brings Miles Foster back in, and there's Wiggins sitting on the bench. So is Lockett, and now so is Wiggins.
Now remember, Yigitolu is over 7 feet tall, and Foster's 6 feet 7.
Yeah. Here's a kick out three. Oquendo had it spin out, but he stepped out of bounds. Pat Driscoll right there on the far sideline. So we'll go back to the Tigers, who lead by 4.
And suddenly for the Clemson inside game, Ian Shefflin becomes much more important.
Here's Jake Hydebreeder with Oquendo waiting on him, and then the ball got thrown away, turned over, and there's a foul on Foster with George coming back up the floor. So Foster, his first, 5 now, very quick fouls.
Total collapse, but they're playing for seeding, and so this in the NCAA tournament, so this would be a big win for them as well.
Yep. Out of the timeout, 7.5 to play. It's a 4-point Clemson lead. Yigitolu kick out for George, who's been terrific in the last 3 games, and a runner with the right hand is good for junior A.J. George.
That's a nice job by Yigitolu to kick that one out. The defense was trying to collapse on him, and he found the open man.
7-0 run by the Mustangs. Hydebreeder picked up on his dribble. Here's Zachary with 15 to shoot. Zachary all the way down. And now back for Hydebreeder. Quickly to Foster. Now to Shefflin with Yigitolu there. Ian into traffic, lost it on the balance, and a held ball is going to go to SMU.
Again, Wes, Clemson gets the ball close to the basket, and that time they brought some help for Yigitolu, but the Tigers have just not been able to score close to the goal.
Crowd here at Moody now. Seeing if the Mustangs can chip away again. Harris, 3-ball, got it. It's a 10-0 run for the Mustangs. Chuck Harris has got 9 on 3 triples.
Wes, and it's not a coincidence that it's Victor Larkin being on the bench in foul trouble that has helped create this situation for the Mustangs.
And that ball was almost stolen. It's another 10-0 run, by the way, in ACC play. That's now 10 games in the 16 they've played in ACC play that SMU has had a 10-0 run. Dan, they're 8-1 in the previous 9 when they have a 10-0 run in conference play.
It's their defense that has really keyed this. They didn't get discouraged with Clemson making all those threes early.
Here's Hunter with 10 to shoot. Zachary already a career high, tying 4 threes in this first half. Here's Shefflin out front, 3 over Cross. Good, rattles in for the Sheff.
Boy, that's a big shot. This Clemson offense, Wes, is heavily reliant on the mid-range game, but they can't get into the mid-range because the SMU defense has been so good at keeping them outside.
I credited Harris with 3 threes. He actually only has 2 threes. So it's 8 first half points for Harris. Inside, Edwards bounced it in traffic. George recovers. Now Yigitolu, and a foul on Foster will be his second. That'll be 6 now on Clemson.
And this is one where the shot clock is running down. Shefflin really has no choice. Cross needs to get out there and attack him with that little time left on the shot clock.
And Chauncey Wiggins is going to get in the ballgame, and I think he's coming for Foster. No, he's not. So no substitution. So here comes Keon Ambrose Hilton into the SMU lineup. Brad Brownell, he's got foul trouble all over the place. Wiggins has 2, Larkin 2, Foster now 2.
And with his big guys, he's got foul trouble.
Yep. Edwards for Harris. Into traffic. Runner with a right hand. Yigitolu tapped it a second time. Ambrose Hilton slapped at it. Cement can't finish a 4th time. Here's George. He had it knocked away. Dylan Hunter's got it. Tried to save it on the floor. Held ball belongs to Clemson. And all of a sudden, we got some extra pulling and tugging, and Pat Driscoll had to go to all 4s.
And Roger Ayers is down there as well. Now, obviously, this is a very important game for both teams. And again, Clemson has had a problem on its defensive boards. SMU getting a lot of second chances, third chances, fourth chances. And that's what you have to do if you're Dylan Hunter. Just get down there on the floor and grab the ball.
Yeah. Dylan Hunter and Samet Yigatolu seem to be the two guys that both wanted the orange.
Well, and Dylan Hunter, it's much better if you're going after Yigatolu when you're both down on the ground. You wouldn't want to be trying to handle him when you're standing up. And SMU has done an outstanding defensive job against Chase Hunter.
Yep, here's A.J. George trying to pick him up. Hunter thought about it. Now Shefflin with 13 to shoot. Skips it into the corner, quickly left wing. Dylan Hunter fakes the three. He'll drive in traffic and miss the floater. Got his own rebound. He and Ambrose Hilton did another held ball. Will go to the Mustangs here.
That was not a very good pass to Dylan Hunter. If he's able to catch that ball cleanly, Wes, he has enough time to get the shot off. But because it was a bad pass and he had to go down to his ankles to get it, that gave Yigatolu a chance to run at it.
So A.J. George, terrific appearance in sequence here in the first half. Cario Aquindo has come back now to join Edwards, Chuck Harris, Keon Ambrose Hilton, and Samet Yigatolu. Harris shoots for the tie, and Zachary the rebound. Here's Shefflin. Picked up on the transition chance. Look at this skip into the corner for Foster. He'll back down on Edwards. Yigatolu helping. Foster got to get rid of it. In trouble. Slips it for Dylan Hunter. Chase Hunter, a three from the front, is off the mark. And run down by B.J. Edwards. 3-point lead again for the Tigers. Aquindo. For Hilton. Right hand score. Keon Ambrose Hilton's first basket.
There's nothing Foster can do, Wes. He's got to be very careful in there.
And Clemson going to take a timeout.
And they suffered a really, really tough loss at North Carolina State earlier.
So the Deacons have lost. Does that make it bigger for SMU now? Knowing they lost the game with the Deacons?
I don't know that it makes it any bigger for SMU. This is a great opportunity for the Mustangs, and they have played very well so far.
Yep. They've turned it up from behind the line. Chase Hunter and Clemson have already been there. 4 to shoot. Here's Dylan Hunter. Got to do something with 2. 1 drive blocked by Ambrose Hilton. Foul on Aquindo before that. Cario Aquindo started his college career in Georgia, played 65 games for the Bulldogs, and then spent last year in Oregon. And he's come halfway back across the country to play his senior campaign. Second foul on SMU. First on Aquindo, and 2 free throws for Dylan Hunter, who's not particularly strong at the line. It rattles out. He's a 59% free throw shooter. Don't forget, coming up, game 3 of our triple header tonight. We'll send you to Miami. Jay Alter and Michael Carter-Williams have the tough assignment of being in Coral Gables today. I'm sure the weather's lovely, and the Hokies and the Canes follow us here tonight from the hilltop. 1-point lead for Clemson.
And Wes, so far in this game, Clemson's obviously shooting the 3 very well, but they have exactly 2 points in the paint. They can't get it inside.
Yigatolu for the lead, and Dylan Hunter the rebound. 3:15 to go in the first half. Here goes Zachary. Pull up 2. Back rim miss. Knocked out by Shefflin. Hunter thought about it. He'll drive back. And Zachary to work again. He's got a matchup he might be able to win against Ambrose Hilton. Foster with the screen. Yigatolu helps. Zachary all the way through. 5 to shoot. Chase Hunter from the S. Front rim miss. SMU looks for the lead again.
SMU's ability to keep Clemson out of the lane has really discombobulated the Tigers' offense.
Yep. Edwards on the drive. Got the roll. Mustangs in front on the second field goal for B.J. Edwards from Knoxville, Tennessee.
Wes, you get the idea that the Tigers are just trying to survive until halftime to get Locken and Wiggins back in the game.
1-point lead. Hunter a pull up 2. Got it.
That is a tough shot.
Yep.
And that is the first basket for Clemson in this game that has not been assisted. Just a one-on-one play.
Yep. Back in front go Clemson. 5 first-half points for Chase Hunter.
Got to go back to Yigatolu.
There he is against Foster, who's got 2 fouls. Zachary trying to help. Edwards launching. Back rim miss. Shefflin the rebound. Dan, you said it earlier in the half. Ian Shefflin's presence is going to be critical here the rest of the way.
Absolutely, particularly rebounding the basketball.
Here's Hunter fighting into traffic. He'll feed Foster, who scores. Miles Foster's got 4 in the first half, and Andy Enfield wants a timeout. He's not happy, obviously, when it came to Georgia Tech getting second chance in the offensive end.
Right, and that has been a problem, and the other thing that Clemson didn't do, particularly in regulation time, was shoot the ball very well from 2. And they have not shot the ball well from 2 so far in this first half. Here's
Edwards. Tigers back by 3 after the Foster basket that got us to the timeout.
They need to throw the ball to Yigatolu.
There's Yigatolu. Lost it on the dribble, and Pat Driscoll, I think, a foul here on Chase Hunter. It's his first. It's the 7th on Clemson with 1:14 to go, so that's a 1-and-1 for Samet Yigatolu. Chase Hunter playing in his 160th career game today for the Tigers.
Now Foster is doing the best he can, but he's got Yigatolu wrapped up there, and Chase Hunter just pushes his body into Yigatolu. If he stops and doesn't make contact, then that's not a foul.
Samet is a 59% free throw shooter, and it's no good. Foster, the one-hand rebound from in front of A.J. George.
A.J. George had him by the other hand, and so he was forced to get that one-handed rebound.
Chase Hunter out front for Dillon. Left corner Zachary. He got another one. He does. A career-high 5 threes for Jaden Zachary in the first half. Back to a 6-point advantage for Clemson. Cross quickly to the foul line. Edwards trying to size up Shefflin on the drive. Right-hand score. Boy, what a tough shot and bucket for B.J. Edwards.
And I thought Shefflin did everything he could do, but that was just a great offensive play.
Hunter, the younger brother Dillon. Skip to the corner. Foster, a lefty 3, missed everything. 4-point game, 15 seconds left. Mustang's going to hold for the last shot. Out front near the timeline, here's Harris. Foster switches. Harris thought about it. George will push up a 3. No. Clemson is going to take a 4-point lead to the locker room. And if they win today, they'll be 14-2 with 4 to go in ACC play.
Victor Larkin back in the game. Let's see if he can stay out of foul trouble. He picked up 2 fouls very early.
Hunter for Larkin on the baseline. Right back for Chase Hunter. Thought about the 3. Drives. Pull up 2 is good.
And Chase Hunter, he passed up a couple of those in the first half, Wes, and I really think that's the best part of his game. Oh, that's over and back.
Wow. Unforced error on Chuck Harris and the Mustangs.
Well, they're running at him because they're worried about the 3s, and Larkin doesn't get there in time, but I think that's the best part of Chase Hunter's game. And Wes, that was just a very simple mistake right there. I don't know why Harris went into the backcourt to get that ball.
6-point lead for Clemson in the ball, and foul off the ball. Pat Driscoll the whistle.
Who'd he get?
Samet Yigatolu. That'll be his first. It's the first of the half on SMU.
And anytime there's a whistle blown anywhere close to Larkin, you know Brad Brownell's got to be holding his breath over there.
Sure is. Remember, Christian Reeves not playing today, ankle injury, out for the Tigers. There's Dillon Hunter. Shefflin, now Chase, 10 to shoot. Boy, Larkin picked up on the dribble quick. Now 5 to shoot, back to Dillon Hunter. Yigatolu chases him. Here's Jaden Zachary running with the shot clock winding down. Locking the rebound. Right back out. Chase Hunter standing 3 at the left.
That is great passing by Clemson.
And Andy Enfield wants an immediate timeout. The offensive rebound was a trouble.
From that slow motion replay, which of course the officials don't have access to while the game is going on.
Right.
It appears that was a shot clock violation.
And the Tigers have scored 5 straight to start the second half, all off the hand of Dylan Hunter, and pushed the 4-point lead to 9 here early in the frame on the Mustangs. Oquendo baseline. Back for Cross. 5 to shoot from Matt Cross and deflected by Zachary. Now here's Cross. A fall away 3 is short, and Zachary will clean up the long rebound. Remember, SMU's playing without Boopy Miller for a 3rd straight game today. The foot injury keeps him on the bench for Andy Enfield. There goes Zachary on the drop. Blocked by Oquendo. Recovered and scored by Locken.
And already we see the impact that Locken can have on this Clemson offense. An offensive rebound that leads to a 3, and now an offensive rebound and a basket.
7-0 run. That ball got deflected. Last touch by the Tigers. Roger Ayers wants to, he checked with Tony Chiazza.
Chase Hunter got his hand on the ball.
And awards it to the Mustangs. 19 to shoot for SMU.
You know, Clemson started the game real quickly, Wes, and they've started the second half real quickly. And Roger Ayers checking there with President Bush to see if he made the right call.
I was getting ready to see if the 43rd President of the United States had something for Roger before he put it back in play.
I don't think he said anything to Roger. Roger initiated that whole sequence.
Yeah. Miss Laura, of course, is an SMU grad. Therefore, the former president is here for the 2nd straight weekend, by the way, watching the Mustangs play. Dylan Hunter, quick look for Shepard. Working against Yigitolu, and a whistling foul. Is that on Cement Yigitolu?
Yes, it is.
For the lean? It is. That'll be his 2nd and the 2nd on the Mustangs.
Oquendo driving the ball into the lane, and that is a great job by Zachary to strip it out of there. But then Oquendo, he gets it again and loses it, and he gets his ankle caught in there. I hope he's okay.
Locken and Yigitolu. Last touch by Cement. It will stay with the Tigers with 15 to shoot. You've been talking, you were talking before the game. Locken's ability to draw Yigitolu away from the basket could be a factor now that he's able to stay on the floor.
If he can stay on the floor, Wes, you're absolutely right.
11 to shoot for Zachary. Bounce pass inside. Here's Locken. 6 to shoot with Yigitolu defending. Victor winding down. Now back with the right hand. Had it blocked. Got it back. Threw it up. Draws the foul. That's going to be the 3rd on Yigitolu. Cement Yigitolu draws his 3rd. Partisans here in University Park don't like it.
Well, this is just one-on-one power basketball here. Nobody comes to help Yigitolu, and he gets the blocked shot. Now, Locken's able to recover that because it is his shot. So he didn't, that's not a traveling violation. He's able to recover his shot. He's able to rebound his own shot.
Victor Locken, first free throw of the day, 70% on the year. First one bounces in. He's now got 6 in the game. Quick reminder to you, gymnastics on ACC Network and the ESPN app returns tomorrow afternoon. Number 16, Stanford, is at Clemson. Little John Coliseum, the site for the Stanford-Clemson duel. Coverage begins at 4 o'clock Eastern.
Wes, and SMU has yet to score in this half.
That's right. And Locken hit them both. That is 7 now for Victor Locken. Another over and back. Harris scooped it up right before it got to the timeline. 3 minutes gone here, second half. Tigers have run off 9 in a row.
Their defense has been outstanding.
Largest lead of the day for Brad Brownell's team, and there's a foul. It's going to be on Dylan Hunter. That'll be Dylan Hunter's first. That'll be the first on Clemson of the second.
Clemson's defense in this half in particular has been right up on the ball, and it makes it very difficult for SMU to move the ball from side to side with the pass. They're forcing the Mustangs to be dribblers.
Yep. Harris. 11 to shoot for Chuck Harris against Locken. Now here's Edwards out front with Dylan Hunter, and a foul on Zachary because Chuck Harris, or no, Jarrell Colbert, is that Colbert?
That is Colbert.
Under the basket. And how Jaden Zachary got Colbert under the basket, we'll get a look here. Watch this battle.
Well, this has been a mismatch that's going on for a couple of times now. And Zachary, he just lost his patience in there, grabbing him one way, then the other, and finally Colbert went down.
First on Zachary, second on Clemson in the half. 15 to shoot for Edwards. 3 over Chase Hunter is good. Terrific shot by B.J. Edwards. He's got 9 first points of the half for SMU, and there's a bump and a foul on Colbert. Jarrell Colbert's first. It's the 4th on the Mustangs.
And again, Locken in the center of things. He is, he's pretty mobile, and so if you run out on him like that, he can drive it by you.
And Dylan Hunter going to go out of the game? No, Locken going to check out, I think. Yep.
Foster's coming back in. Locken's going out.
Here comes Del Jones, too. You know why? Brad Brownell knows he gets a dead ball under 16 here, too, Dan, right?
Well, and Locken has been very active, and so he's getting him out again to give him a little bit of rest to try to prevent that getting that third personal foul.
And here comes Johan Traore, who did not play in the first half. He played 12 second-half minutes the other night at Notre Dame, Dan, after missing most of the last 4 games with a hip injury. And I thought he was terrific against the Irish. There goes Shefflin to work. He scores. Ian Shefflin now getting it cranked up. He's got 8. First points of the half, and Matt Cross needs a timeout. Zachary had loomed in the backcourt and was defended about. I'll tell you this, Newport, Maine's population is about 3,100. He'll have all that from South Beach and more in Coral Gables on Tuesday night on ESPN, and of course available on the ESPN app. Sports Center during the day, by the way.
There you go.
Yeah. SMU.
They want to get out of Bristol.
And that foul is on Del Jones off the ball.
Weather's a little better, a little further south.
Yeah. That's why we've got Mr. Alter and Carter Williams standing by to bring us the Canes and the Hokies tonight at 6 o'clock. Follows our coverage here in Dallas. Clemson by 12. The foul off the ball on Del Jones, the freshman from Landover, Maryland, his first.
Clemson's defense has been outstanding at the start of the second half.
Here's Cross on the drive. That's going to be a foul on Shefflin. First on Ian Shefflin. 4 on Clemson, so the team fouls are even now with just under 16 to play.
But again, that's what SMU has been able to do, is drive and draw fouls. They're still having a tough time passing the ball from side to side.
In the corner, here's Chuck Harris.
Zachary is such a pest defensively.
Baseline goes George, and a foul, I believe, on Foster. And Miles Foster draws his 3rd. That's the 5th on Clemson. He's the first Tiger with 3. And we're going to get a couple free throws here for A.J. George, the transfer from Long Beach State out of Fresno, California.
When George, he's a guy, he hadn't played very much, Wes, but
last 3 games it's picked up.
Yes, but absolutely. All year long, he's had the reputation. He can slash, he can get into the lane. He's a defensive pest out there. We just talked about Zachary.
Yep.
But with more minutes, George has really shown what he can do. And Andy Enfield told us all year, it's just that he was stuck behind a couple of guys that he really likes. There's the ability of George.
If there's a silver lining in the Miller injury at this particular juncture of the season, it's allowed A.J. George to get some really big minutes. Here's the 2-2-1 press employed by the Mustangs. Locken against Cross. Now back to Chase Hunter against B.J. Edwards.
Well, this is a change of pace. Trying to see how Clemson reacts.
In the corner, Zachary a 3.
That's his first miss from out there today.
Backside rebound. Here comes SMU, trailing 10 now. Cross lost it on the dribble. Zachary the turnover. Jaden's got 2 guys to beat. Into traffic, flip it up and in. First regular field goal for Jaden Zachary's got 17.
Wes, I don't know that you can call that a regular field goal.
Well, 2-point field goal.
Yes. But that was rather an extraordinary field goal.
Here's Harris for Cross, 3-ball. And Locken tried to keep it alive. It'll stay with SMU. Another look at the regular field goal.
Well, and this is a really nice job by Edwards making that a very, very tough shot.
By the way, Matt Cross going to the bench, turned 24 years of age yesterday. That's an older player in college basketball, right? It's ironic because yesterday, P.J. Hall, the Clemson great, turned 23. Just that's where we are, folks. Game's gotten old quick, hasn't it, Dan?
Well, we don't, people like me don't talk about old.
I know you don't. Harris lost it on the dribble. Here's Wiggins for Del Jones through traffic. That got swatted out of bounds and off of Jones. What a play by Ambrose Hilton, who never gave up on it after the ball was turned over.
And that was a play where maybe Jones needs to dump that one off. He's trying to make another really tough basket here. Wiggins is right behind him. And not only does he get the shot block, but he falls on the ground. The ball bounces on him while he's out of bounds.
So SMU the ball back. Chase Hunter goes out. Dylan Hunter's returned. So has Samet Igatolu, playing with 3 fouls, all here in the second half for SMU. Edwards, Igatolu, the catch and dunk. Second field goal for the big fellow from Istanbul.
Well, Locken went too far out trying to defend that screen and couldn't get back.
5.5 gone second half, 10-point lead for the Tigers. Dylan Hunter a slash, back for Locken's 3, left of the circle, and slapped around, finally recovered Edwards. SMU really wants to see if they can get the transition game going. Igatolu's pass deflected, Hunter the takeaway. Now Wiggins, a 3 in transition. And a foul will be called on Clemson. I think Jones or Zachary.
Well, Igatolu is a little upset right now, Wes. And he's got to stop yelling at the officials. Just go out there and play. You know, Clemson has done a nice job swarming him when he's got the ball on the inside for the most part. You just have to be strong with the basketball. You cannot be looking for a whistle.
Yep. Tigers going to offer a little bit of backcourt pressure here. Ambrose Hilton will fire it up the floor, and here's A.J. George trying to beat Zachary on the dribble. Oh, and it got knocked off of George by Dylan Hunter.
The Clemson defenders have had such active hands here in the second half. They're really generating turnovers. You know, Clemson's three-point shooting has cooled off, and you would expect that it would. But again, the double team right there, that's Dylan Hunter knocking the ball away.
SMU's got 5 second half turnovers. The Tiger lead is still 10.
It's been a while since anybody scored.
Chase Hunter a 3. Rebound for Edwards. He'll lead the Mustang chance. Aquindo on the drive, rolled off the iron, and it got batted away, and a foul going to be called here. Tony Chiazza off the baseline, and it's on Igatolu. That's his 4th.
Well, he clearly pushed, Wes. And again, you know, when you're going to push like that, you can't be yelling at the officials before such a play occurs.
13:38 to go, 5th foul on SMU.
Locken gets in good position, and he just pushes him out of the way.
And Shefflin will get back into the Clemson lineup for Locken. Igatolu goes to the bench, so Jarrell Colbert and Keon Ambrose Hilton, who are 6'10 and 6'9 respectively, will be the front line for Andy Enfield here with 13.5 to play for the time being. Remember, Cross is over on the bench too, and there's a whistle and a foul on the Mustangs. And it's on Chuck Harris. It'll be the second on Harris, and it's 6 already on SMU. 6 as well for Clemson here in the second half.
These guys are really banging against one another here in the second half. There's an awful lot of contact going on.
This game's quickly moved to March, hasn't it?
Well, we're close to March.
Yep. 10 to shoot. Here's Chase Hunter. Thought about it. Bounces for Shefflin. Now Dylan Hunter, he's going to have to launch. Fires on Aquindo. Back rim miss. Shefflin the rebound. Ripped it away in traffic, and a held ball will go to SMU.
When's the last time anybody scored?
The scoring drought is 219 for Clemson, and SMU's had 4 turnovers in the last 249. How's that?
Okay, all right. So not a lot of offense is what you're saying.
A lot of third and short conversions. Out of the corner, Quindo. Colbert had a shot at it. Shefflin saved it. Zachary the deflection. And here goes Jaden Zachary with one guy to beat on the layup, and a foul will be called, and it's free throws for Zachary.
Wes, that was some kind of rebound by Ian Shefflin.
Sure was, and the foul on B.J. Edwards will be his first. So 1-1 for Clemson with 12:41 to go in the game.
Well, he grabs the ball, he's flying out of bounds, and yet he's able to get an outlet pass that starts the fast break.
And the ACC's active leader in steals came into the ball game with 218, Dan, in his Atlantic Coast Conference career. Zachary free throw good. Here comes Cross for Colbert. And the Mustang order.
SMU getting a little bit smaller. Now Cross is an outstanding rebounder, so they don't really lose very much in terms of size.
Zachary's now got 19. He'll check out of the lineup.
Well, not only did he make those threes, I think he's been the key guy in this Clemson second half defense.
Jake Highbreeder back into the lineup. He played only 2 minutes in the first half. First time we've seen him here in half two. Wears jersey number 3 for the Tigers. Here's Chuck Harris with 15 to shoot. A step away 3. Bounds off. Cross the rebound. Right back for Ambrose Hilton and the easy dunk.
That's what Cross does. He goes and he finds the rebound. He just doesn't get rebounds that come to him. He goes and he gets them.
That Cross turned into a fine college player, hadn't he, Dan?
Oh, absolutely.
Highbreeder. Picking up. Here's Shefflin left wide open now. Wiggins went for the dunk. He got the rub in and the foul. How about Chauncey Wiggins? He got the fortuitous roll when it looked like Ambrose Hilton was going to post a block shot here.
But this is some pass by Shefflin. And you're absolutely right. That's really fortunate that that ball goes in the basket. But Cross, he goes and gets the rebound, and then nobody's down covering up. And Ambrose Hilton able to get an easy one. A couple of nice passes by big guys like that.
Chauncey Wiggins, who sat a good bit of the first half after coming off the bench with foul trouble. First basket of the game, and he adds the free throw.
Wiggins coming off the bench can be an extremely valuable player for Clemson as they go down the stretch, not only in this game, but of the season.
Edwards on the drive. Leans in with a left hand. Couldn't get the roll, and Dylan Hunter runs down the rebound. He'll bounce it for Chase. Thought about the 3. Into traffic. Spot up jumper. Rolls in for Chase Hunter. 7.5. Dozen in the ball game for the senior from Westlake High School in Atlanta. Cross back the other way in a hurry for SMU. Forced it up and scored. Double figures from Matt Cross. 10th straight game.
Well, somebody took the lid off the basket, Wes, because now we suddenly have some offense going on.
Still a 13-point Tiger lead. Hunter held up on the bounce pass for Shefflin against Harris. Boy, Chuck Harris, terrific defender, and gets the steal there.
Too much dribbling.
Lead for Ambrose Hilton. He couldn't handle it. Goes over the inline out of bounds, and back to the Tigers it'll go. But first, a timeout. 9 minutes gone, practically second half. Clemson in front.
7 here in the second half.
Yep.
This is a Clemson team. I mean, their guards are experienced. They're really good defensively. Ian Shefflin gives you such a great deal on the inside.
Shefflin on the perimeter. Here's Locken. Highbreeder is out there now instead of Dylan Hunter. That's the only change in the lineup in terms of the starter being on the bench. 10 to shoot for Chase Hunter. Bounce pass, Locken, the catch and the dunk. What a pass by Hunter.
What a pass by Hunter, but what a catch by Locken on the move. How valuable has Locken been to this offense in the second half?
Tiger lead is 15 with 10.5 to play. Harris. Now Cross. Boy, they're going to need Matt Cross to wire it up. There's a lob inside. That got deflected by Shefflin on the way to Ambrose Hilton. Here you go, Dan.
Well, Shefflin, he's just cuts to the basket, and Ambrose Hilton thought he was going to set a screen, and he didn't do it. He just went right to the goal. And that's a tough angle to make a pass, but Chase Hunter, one of the great assist guys all time in Clemson history.
Here's A.J. George. He's playing with Chuck Harris, B.J. Edwards, Ambrose Hilton, and Matt Cross. And that got knocked away by Zachary. They rolled to the deck again. Edwards came up with it. Harris rather did, and the shot clock went off. Shot clock violation.
Again, the quick hands of the Clemson guards. And who is down there on the floor making the shot clock run out? But Ian Scheffler.
14th turnover for SMU. Dan, we know Duke is the premier defensive unit in the ACC. I think we've all seen that.
I agree.
Okay. Clemson's not far behind, it feels like.
You know, Clemson, you mentioned before Clemson's numbers in the ACC. Now, this is overall, but I'm talking about in conference play. They're number 2 in opponents' points per game. And that's really the only stat that means anything. These other numbers are nice, but the only thing that means anything is the points.
Chase Hunter buries a deep 3. He's now got 15 in the ball game. 10 here in the second half, including 2 threes. He's got 3 in the contest. Cross on the drive, 9.5 to play, and turned it over. That's number 15 now on the Mustangs.
Man, they just lost him, and if you're going to lose a guy out on the court for Clemson, it shouldn't be Chase Hunter.
Yep.
But every time the SMU big guys get the ball and try to back to the basket, the Clemson guards are dropping down and snapping at it, and it's just really hard to get any offensive flow.
9:20 to play. Here's a quick look inside. Locking the catch. Had it knocked away. It'll stay with the Tigers. It was Edwards and Cross that collapsed on Victor Lockett.
I don't think Locken realized how open he was, Wes. You catch that ball, you shoot little hook shots.
So Samet Yigatolu went to the bench with 13:38 to play. And 4 minutes and 20 seconds later, here he is with 4 fouls.
Wes, there's no reason to save him. You're behind by 18 points. Doesn't really help you if he doesn't foul out of the game, but you lose by 20.
Zachary, the runner, wouldn't go. Clemson got their own rebound.
Oh, I thought he was going to shoot that.
Zachary will and miss it. Lockett knocked it out. Third try for the Tigers.
Well, Zachary used up all his three-point shooting in the first half.
Maybe for the remainder of the month.
Well, the month doesn't have long to go.
That's a good thing for him. Highbreeder, there's a step 3 to the left. It'll miss. And they scramble for it. Last touch, Traore. It'll stay with the Tigers. Clemson's going to get is this a 5th chance?
Yes. And it's a chance that's created by the hustle of Ian Scheffler. He just never gives up on a ball.
Yep. Highbreeder now for Zachary. Shot clock reset to 20. Now Lockett ready over Yigatolu. Rimmed out a 3. Across the rebound.
On those missed threes, SMU really has to push the ball.
Cross on the drive and a foul on Chase Hunter, I think, for the reach. It'll be his second. That is the 7th now on Clemson with 8:27 play. So settle in here on the common fouls for free throws. And Matt Cross, who's 71%, is going to be the first customer.
Well, Chase Hunter had himself in good position with the body, but he couldn't resist reaching in.
Cross now with 11 on the free throw. You see Chase Hunter will come out. Dylan Hunter back in. There's Evansville, Indiana native Brad Brownell with the old-fashioned box outside.
It's old-fashioned, but it's still a good sign.
Yep. Still know what it means, right?
Yep.
16-point lead for the Tigers. Cross hit them both.
Well, his team surrendered 10 offensive rebounds in the first half, only 2 so far in this half.
Zachary. Little pocket pass. Lockett turned on Yigatolu. Back now. The fall away will bounce in for Victor Lockett. 8.5, 11 in the game. And clearly, the transfer from Cincinnati.
Clearly, Yigatolu has to be very, very careful in there.
Yep. Harris thought about the spot up 3. B.J. Edwards can't find the baseline. Yigatolu the catch, and he'll get the easy bucket. 6 for Yigatolu.
And Wes, that term you just used, easy bucket, is something SMU hasn't seen very many of in this half.
Yep. Clemson's got 20 assists, and there's a foul on Harris. And that is a season high.
The Deeks just couldn't get it done today.
Dylan Hunter 0 for 2 at the line, hit the front end of the 1-and-1. First point for Hunter, who had 17 at Florida State last Saturday, has averaged 10 over his last 3.
And those last 3 all starts.
Yep. He is 2 years and 8 days younger than Chase, by the way.
Wes, I think his speed, Dylan Hunter's speed, that is really enhances this Clemson defense. And there he gets his hand on the ball again.
Well, that's where he's a menace, the long arms. Reaches right in, flicks at it. Here's Yigitolu now playing with the 4 fouls. He'll score on the jump hooks. 6.5, 8 in the game for Samet Yigitolu.
And that's a very positive sign for SMU, but now they got to get stops down on the other end.
Coming up on 7 minutes to play, it's a 16-point Clemson lead.
Yigitolu's got to be very careful out here. You don't want to pick up a silly foul.
Here's Zachary in the left corner, firing for another one. Spun out on him. Edwards the rebound. Jaden Zachary hit 5 first-half threes. Yigitolu fouled on the play by Locken. No, it's Shefflin.
Shefflin reached in. Wes, that's what we've been talking about the entire game. The SMU guys playing with their back to the basket, they start to turn, and somebody from Clemson drops down and starts swiping at the basketball.
So 2 free throws for Samet Yigitolu, who came over to the United States, is listed. Interesting, one of the preseason notes called him a developmental player. My goodness. I'll tell you this, if he's developmental.
Well, he's developing very well.
Absolutely. He's averaging 11 points, 6 rebounds in ACC play. I think he's probably got a spot locked up on the all-rookie team, Dan.
I think that's a pretty good guess, Wes.
Going to get 2 Blue Devils on there. You're going to get probably Ian Jackson of North Carolina. Samet Yigitolu is probably going to be there. All of a sudden, you're running out of names. You're getting in trouble. You only got 1 vote left.
Well, you got 18 teams. You're going to run out of names pretty quickly.
Sure are. Don't forget. Here's Zachary on the drive. Kick out front. Shefflin a 3. Back rim miss, and Ambrose Hilton pulled it away. So now it's a 14-point game with 6 minutes left.
No sign of life here.
Yep. And turned over. 16 of them now for the Mustangs. Chase Hunter thought about the pull-up.
You know, he was right in front of Brad Brownell. Brad may have blocked it if he tried to shoot that one.
Good point. Here's Zachary. Working through traffic. He lost it on the dribble, out of bounds. It will go to Clemson. No foul called. I think Jaden thought he got one, but did not.
Well, you know, it's very interesting. Zachary is on the drive here, and he loses his balance. Not because anybody hit him, because he stepped on the foot of Chuck Harris.
Edwards. Lob inside. Yigitolu left it on the rim. Andy Enfield turns and looks into the sky here at Moody Coliseum.
You get your 7-footer, a 2-foot shot, you generally think that's going in.
Yep. Here's Zachary back for Locken. He'll loft the 3 and hit. Victor Locken's second 3 of the day. He's now got 14 in the contest.
Remember, Wes, he only had 3 in the first half because he was in foul trouble.
Edwards had it blocked. Gets it back with just ahead of 5 minutes to go. Tiger lead is 17. Harris fouled, and Dylan Hunter will catch his second foul and the 9th on Clemson.
This is what Clemson did so well in the first half. Yigitolu gets way too far away from Locken, and Locken just has all day to shoot that thing.
And Chuck Harris going to go to the line to shoot a pair here. He's an 84% free throw shooter, does not have enough attempts and conversions to qualify for the ACC statistical run. But the free throw is good. 9 for Harris. Don't forget tonight, following Virginia Tech Miami, about 8 o'clock Eastern or so, the Nothing But Net crew breaks down the full day and night in the ACC. Highlights and analysis with Taylor Tannenbaum, Luke Hancock, Joel Berry III, and Carlos Boozer.
Wes, we've been talking about the great defensive work being done out here today by the Clemson guards.
Yeah.
And I think you have to add to that the fact that Boopy Miller isn't playing.
Sure.
You know, one of the top guards in the ACC, plays for SMU. He's not in the game today. He's got that bruised foot. And that's not trying to make an excuse for SMU. That is a fact.
Yep.
And he's not able to play, and that really hurts.
Hunter went for the reverse, and Wiggins kept it alive, and then they tried to make the save and over the end line out of bounds. And there's a look at Kevin Miller of Chicago, Illinois, better known as Boopy to everybody. Leads SMU in scoring and assists. In fact, he's 4th in the ACC in assists. He is 7th in steals.
Boy, you'd really like to have a guy like that against this Clemson defensive backcourt.
Out of the corner, Ambrose can't hit it. Rebounded Edwards, back up and rejected by Wiggins. 4.5 to go. Edwards from the left wing of 3. B.J. Edwards now with 12 in the game.
And that's something we saw from SMU in the first half, the ability to get offensive rebounds and conversion.
12-point game now with 4:20 to go. Shefflin. Now Zachary. Works baseline all the way through. Wiggins off the baseline. Knocks down the jumper. Second field goal. Chauncey Wiggins with 5 all in the second half. 14-point Tiger lead. Cross with Chase Hunter defending. Ambrose Hilton avoids Chase Hunter and scoops it in. Nicely done by the senior from Toronto. Transferred from Alabama. Back to a 12-point game and 3.5 to play. Next foul by either school, Dan, is 10. So 2 shots on every common foul. Dylan Hunter against A.J. George. Got the Shefflin screen. In the corner, Wiggins at 3. Got it. Chauncey Wiggins. And a timeout taken by...
The second half, Clemson's defense really ramped it up.
Here's Edwards. Out front cross. And back rim miss. Zachary the rebound. Yugatola took a spill. He is slow to his feet.
He's got to get up and get going.
There we go. See, and Clemson will gladly take that.
Yes.
Just to, fine, get Cement taken care of. It's a left shoulder that he's kind of rewinding there.
There's a bunch of guys got tangled up in there.
I'm kind of sitting here going through some math during the break, and that's dangerous, as you know.
Very dangerous. As long as I don't have to do it.
SMU has a road trip to Cal and Stanford, Syracuse at home, and at Florida State to finish, Dan. If this holds, they're still going to be tied with Wake Forest and lose the head-to-head, by the way, on that 4-5. The last spot in the double bye is still in the balance with, a couple weeks to go. Here's Chase Hunter, 5 to shoot, and a foul called. And free throws coming for Clemson on Ambrose Hilton's foul. There's a look at Cal. There are the Nets with them, so you're not going to gain a lot of ground. That's 10, by the way, on the Mustangs.
No, you're not going to gain a lot of ground in terms of an at-large bid for the NCAA tournament, but you do have an opportunity to gain ground in the race for the 4th double bye.
That is correct.
Remember, Wake Forest has a game remaining at Duke.
Yep. Hunter at the line, first one good.
Boy, he's had some second half.
Yep, 5 in the first half. These are his first free throws of the day. So he's got 11 here in the second half. And he knocks the second one down. Chase Hunter with 17. Zachary's got 19. Locken's got 14. And the Tigers have 75 as a team. And there goes Edwards. And I got raked out by Dylan Hunter, who looks at Pat Driscoll's at to say, man, come on. That's 3.5, 10 on Clemson. Dylan Hunter, all 3 fouls here in the second half.
Wes, and Ian Shefflin, we haven't talked about him much But he has 8 points. He's got 5 rebounds. He's got 3 assists. He's got a couple of steals.
And Ambrose Hilton makes the free throw. He's 15 of 25 at the line this year. He's got 5.5 and 7 in the ball game.
Now, this is a tough place to come in and play, and this Clemson team has, even with foul trouble in the first half, Wes, you know, they've done everything they needed to do. They relied on the 3 in the first half with locking in the game. In the second half, it's been more defense and 2-point shooting, but this is a complete-looking Clemson team.
Man, they're going to get to 14 league wins. And if this holds, this is going to be 6 straight road wins in the ACC. That is strong now. Their only road loss so far is Louisville. 6 to shoot, 2 minutes to play. Here goes Shefflin. Kept it on the dribble, strong to the basket and scores. 10 for Ian Shefflin now.
Just nothing seems to bother him.
Here's Ambrose Hilton, a 3. It's good. And a timeout for Andy Enfield with 148. This particular team that is going to reach 22 wins. They can hold on the next 148. Inbounds to Shefflin. And here's Chase Hunter the catch, and he'll flip it ahead, lock in 1 dribble and a dunk. Get over, big! 79-63, 90 seconds left, and Chuck Harris firing away. And knocked out of bounds by the combination of Dylan Hunter and Jaden Zachary.
Hunter does a nice job getting it in bounds. And here's Ian Shefflin. He gets out of a triple team, gets it to Zachary. And when you have a triple team in one place, somebody's going to be open in another.
Here's Harris. Time winding away on SMU. And Locken couldn't draw the foul. It'll be his third. Couple of free throws for Harris with 1:22 to play.
Wes, and that is a key statement you just made. It's Locken's 3rd foul, and he had 2 fouls in the first 4 minutes of the game.
Yeah, he went to the bench with his 2nd at the 8:22 mark of the first half. How about that? And that's his first foul of the second half.
Wes, you're also talking about Clemson winning on the road. The last couple of years, they've been 5-5 on the road. This is the first time they've had a winning record on the road in ACC play since 1986-87.
Oh boy, 86-87 now. That's going back a ways. That's one of those Tim Beret has to text you to tell you how good that team was.
Well, that's that Horace Grant team.
Yeah, yeah. Front court, here's Locken. He'll skip it across for Zachary. 73 seconds to play, and the Tigers will just hold it out here in the midcourt area. And Clemson's going to go to 22-5 and 14-2 in the ACC and stay with Louisville, and that's 1 full game back of Duke.
Wes, they have been outstanding on the defensive end today, but they've also given you a picture of the kind of complete offensive team that they can be.
Out of the corner, there's Harris knocking down a 3. My goodness. 3rd 3 of the day for Harris. It's his first field goal of the second half. He's got 6.5 and 14 in the ball game.
And I think we're going to look and see if that actually was a 3.
So Tony Chiazza defers, and Pat Driscoll goes to the monitor across the way here at Moody Coliseum. Let's see, what do we got here?
It's close, but that's a 3.
I think so. Not enough state's evidence to overturn that, I don't think. And it's a 3. Yep. Inbounds, Cross stole it, got it to Ambrose Hilton. And here's Harris gunning for another 3. It'll be off the rim. Cross the rebound. Edwards looking for a 3. Long miss. Ball rolled out. Here they go, the scramble with 25 seconds left. Finally, Edwards. Here's Harris. He's just going to drive the lane and lay it in. And that makes it a 10-point game. And here's the inbounds to Zachary, and he'll bring it into front court. And I think, Dan, that's going to do it. Clemson's going to win by a final of 79-69. And the Tigers were impressive.
Impressive on both ends of the court, Wes.
Yep. 10-point win for Brad.